If you're dating after 40 and you keep attracting Mr. Unavailable on repeat, and what you really want is lasting love with Mr. Right, you're in the right place. This episode is for you if you want to know, is it possible to find true love in your 40s and beyond? Let's get started. Welcome. I'm Truly Eleanor, intuitive dating coach, helping women over 40 find Mr. Right without wasting time on unavailable guys. After 17 years coaching hundreds of women around the world and overcoming my own patterns in my 40s to meet the love of my life, I know this to be true. Love is closer than you think. If you want dating advice that actually works, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I have new videos every single week. Let's dive into today's episode. We're going to talk about that feeling of not being sure that you can find love after a certain age, or feeling like, is it really possible? I've heard from so many women in their 40s who've been dating and feeling kind of frustrated and asking themselves, is the right guy even out there for me? Does he even exist? Is this even possible? I'm doing all the things. I'm on the dating apps and I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels, not meeting quality guys. And I'm starting to wonder, is it even possible? That's what today's topic is all about. And I've been there plenty of times. And I wanted to go behind the scenes so that you know what I've been through and how I came out through the other side, and you can too. There's something I haven't really told you, and if you've been following me for a while, a story about when I turned 40 and I thought it was over for love. I was 100% convinced that turning 40 would just be the end of my possibilities for meeting a true love and having a lasting love relationship because I was 40. I thought, oh, now I'm this cougar and I'm the older woman and I'm just going to have to basically date younger guys because that's all that's out there. I've heard this from lots of women. Oh, now that I'm a certain age, no one my age or no one around the age that I want to date is going to want to date me because they want to date younger women. And so what's left for me in the pool, one of those stereotypes of now I'm the 40-year-old cougar who goes to the bar and all the young guys are like, oh, look at her. But nothing serious can happen. That's what I thought because I had picked up that belief and I really, really believed that that was the only thing left for me. I kind of gave up hope. When I would go out, I would notice that the younger guys were impressed with me somehow because I was older and they thought that I looked good for my age and it was a novelty. And I knew deep down that there was nothing serious and that I wasn't actually being appreciated for who I was. It was just, this is something that a guy would think it's kind of like a notch on their belt. And I sort of knew that. And because my self esteem was so low and I had so much self doubt about who I was, that I was convinced that this is really the only choice I have. And I didn't feel interesting or good enough for someone who was my age, or if I thought if I meet someone my age, they wouldn't be interested in me because my life wasn't all pulled together and I didn't have all of those things that a lot of people my age have, owning a house or having a very impressive career. And I had been traveling around the world and taken all of the unconventional paths and became a holistic nutritionist, and I was an energy healer, doing all of these things that are very different and outside the norm. So I felt like if I were to meet someone, that they wouldn't be interested in me because I didn't have all of those boxes checked for someone who's my age. That's where I started to think it's not possible for me to find what I want, so I better just take what I can get. And this is the pitfall that a lot of women can fall into if they start to really truly believe and make choices from those beliefs that this is all they have. And that's why I wanted to really address this specifically, this fear and belief all wrapped up in one of thinking, is it really possible to find lasting love in your 40s and beyond? Spoiler alert, of course it is possible. I am going to talk about all of that later on, but I wanted to really address what you might be feeling right now and saying that I totally understand that belief. And I understand that a lot of women think I don't have the choice, and thinking the dating pool is too small for me now. Either the men are way too old for me and I don't want an older man. I don't want to be like an Al Pacino situation. But then thinking, well, it's only the younger guys who are really going to be interested. And it's nothing that I really want. So it's that feeling of like, I can't get what I want in love. And I wanted to name that for you because it is extremely important, if you've listened to any of my other shows, to know that you need to name those things that are coming up, those fears, address those feelings, process them, release them, acknowledge them, and witness them, because that's the only way you're going to move forward with the truth and move forward with what is actually possible for you. So after going through my process and my framework of true awareness, true acceptance, and true connection to self and others, is how I moved through and actually was able to find love in my 40s and to marry the love of my life and to have the life that I truly wanted and the relationship that I truly wanted. But I had to really acknowledge that deep fear of, is it even possible? Okay, so if you're feeling some of this, if there's stuff coming up, I want you to take some time to acknowledge that, and knowing that it's okay, it's perfectly fine to bring this up and allow it to be witnessed, because it's not going to stop you from having love. It's actually going to help you to move through this and get to the other side and feel that sense of possibility blossoming in your heart again. That's what I want for you. Here are the truths and the things that I want you to look at from this space of feeling like this isn't really possible for me because of my age or whatever it is. The truth about finding love, especially after 40, is it is closer than you think. That's what I always say. It's always darkest before dawn. If we start to feel and really dig into those deeply painful truths or fears and release them and cleanse them out of your body and out of your mind, then you move into the possibilities. You move into the space of, I can have this. This is happening for me. This is available for me. This kind of love is available for me as well. I want you to look at a reframe and ask a question in a different way. Instead of saying, is it possible to find love after 40? Say it like this: why can't I find love? Why wouldn't I be able to find love? Why wouldn't someone be captivated or enthralled by me? Why wouldn't someone be totally excited to meet me and to be with me? Why wouldn't they? I want you to turn that around of the, is it even going to happen for me? Ask yourself, why wouldn't it? Why can't I find love, a true lasting love? And I want you to look at all the reasons why it's easier to find love when you're older. We're going to flip the script again, because a lot of people assume, oh, it gets harder the older you get. Well, I would challenge that and tell you that it's actually easier. I want you to lean into the fear and start taking the actions that override those fears. And when the doubt comes up that you won't find love, I want you to flip those scripts with affirmations that you are finding love, that you are stepping into the possibilities, that you are embracing and welcoming all possibilities of love now, and to move into that. So I want you to look at the reasons why it's easier when you're older. Write down 5 reasons why it's easier for you now that you're older. And some examples would be, I know myself. I have more ability to connect into my true desires. I know what I don't want. I recognize my strengths. I know what my needs are. These are all reasons that it's easier. Think back to when you were younger and you didn't have a clue, or maybe you've had a marriage or two that was very incompatible and realized down the road that you were following something that was totally against what you really wanted. Well, it's a lot harder to do that when you get into your 40s and 50s, because you have this sense of, I don't have time to waste on that, and I don't want to. The more important thing is, I don't want to spend that time on a relationship that's incompatible. So it's much easier for you to recognize someone who is compatible. It's easier for you to speak your needs and to be able to connect with others from the experiences you've had. And even if you feel like you have a bit of doubt around that, it will be proven. Proof is in the pudding. So when you start dating and start talking and having conversations with people, you're going to get better and better at it. You can tell yourself ahead of time, I'm actually really good at this, and see what happens. So we're flipping the script on that. If I'm older, here's another belief. If I'm older, no guy my age will be interested in me. Well, the right guy a quality guy will be interested in you. They will consider themselves very lucky to date you at any age. Again, that's flipping the script. You can write these down. You can have affirmations and things that are the opposite of your fears or limiting beliefs. Another one, I won't like the guys because they are too old. The right guy will be your type of person with similar interests, with similar fitness levels and lifestyle to you, and you can find someone who is on par with you. So instead of thinking they're not going to be good enough for me or I'm not going to be good enough for them, think about it this way. When you find the right person, they are compatible. And the reason they're the right person is they're compatible on every level. Another thing that women run into, I've put on weight as I get older, so guys won't be interested in me. And I will challenge that and say to you, the right guy will love you for who you are, period. And here's another one. The dating pool is smaller when you get older. Well, a smaller dating pool means easier, more focused and intentional dating. People are looking for specific things. It's easier to eliminate and hone in on who you want. It's actually easier. You don't want to throw out the net as wide as possible. It just takes so much time and effort and so many wrong turns when you have this giant dating pool. You would rather have a very intentional and focused dating pool. This last one that I've brought up in other episodes that I love because it makes me laugh. There was an article written, easier to get hit by lightning than to get married after 40. That is an article written by, I would say, a cynical person who was discredited later on, obviously. Women who want to get married will and can find love and a long-term relationship. The last thing I will say is someone will love you for who you are, period. Love is closer than you think. These are categorical truths that you can dial into when you're questioning, is it possible to find love after 40? I want you to go back to these deep truths. They're more like meditative beliefs. They're affirmations. They have a lot of energy behind them. So just try them out and saying them out loud. Love is closer than you think. That's the truth. No matter what stats and doomsday information people want to throw at you, the most amazing things happen when you get intentional, connected to yourself, and follow your intuition. And nobody can take that away from you. So as a recap, we can ask the question, is it possible to find love in your 40s and beyond? And you can feel really bummed about it, and you can dial deep into that, and you can examine that and allow that to come out and to really give it space, and then let it go and dig into the truth, which is someone will love you for who you are, that it's easier to date when you're in your 40s, that you know yourself better. The dating pool is more intentional and focused, and therefore easier to spot the right guy. The truth is that it is easier to find love the older you get, and I will stand by that. So if you're feeling bummed, remember to acknowledge it and then release it and decide to embrace the truth instead and move through that to get to the other side. Remember, there's my story that I did meet the love of my life in my 40s, and I'm not an anomaly. I'm not someone who's like the only one that this has happened to. I have helped women to do this. This is repeatable and it is doable, and there is a way through to the other side. But I do want you to acknowledge those fears and to confront them head on so that you can say, okay, now I'm ready to move on. Now I'm ready to connect into the possibilities and go out there and find the love that I truly desire. That's what I want for you. I hope this has been helpful, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode where we're going to continue on with this emotional healing theme. And we're going to talk about the emotional roller coaster of finding love in your 40s and how to keep moving forwards. I hope that you join me in the next one. And remember, love is closer than you think.